Watch lovers, this week we are taking a look at 3 picks in honor of the US Open. Stick around. Welcome back to SwissWatchExpo Watch Lovers. This is Angel, and this week I thought it'd be a lot of fun to take a look at some really great Rolex models in honor of the US Open. When you think of tennis, you think of Rolex. They are synonymous, especially when you think of huge players like Roger Federer or Coco Gauff or Sloane Stephens. These are some really great ambassadors that have been seen with these watches on their wrist. Inside of press and things of that nature. So let's get into some really fun and great models from Rolex. So we're going to be taking a look at an Oyster Perpetual, a Yachtmaster, and also the iconic Daytona. So let's jump right into it. So my first pick is this absolutely gorgeous Oyster Perpetual. Now, this is a 36 millimeter, so a very classic size, a very classic styling, other than this gorgeous coral red dial. Now, this watch I think could really look beautiful on both men and women, but I chose this because it reminds me of some of the Stella dials from the past. It gives you that pop of color, but in a very classic styling from Rolex. I've always been a huge fan of the Oyster Perpetual because of how clean and minimalistic the styling is. You don't have a date bubble or a cyclops at the 3 o'clock position. Just a really clean way to do a dial like this. They've done small minute markers around the outer edge of the dial. Nice satin finished oyster steel bracelet with some high polished areas around the bezel and on the case sides. I recently saw Coco Gauff with this model, not in this color, but in a blue. And of course, this comes in your almost Tiffany blue. You'll have the celebration dial that'll have this touch of color in it. You'll have black, you'll have silver. Oyster Perpetual models come in a plethora of styles and colors. And also you can get them in multiple sizes. You can jump up to the 39 as well if you want something a little larger. And really, again, just when you think of Rolex and clean looks, this is where you go. So a favorite of mine, a really great gift coming into fall, even with Christmas. And that coral red is so deep. It has such a beautiful tone to it. You can tell that it has some depth. And then you'll have those beautiful indices around the dial, the stick markers with that lume on the dial here. So give us a comment down below to let us know if you think that it has the chromalite for the indices or the super luminova or tritium. Let's do a little quiz down at the bottom in the comments. Take a look here. Next up, we'll take a look at the Yachtmaster. Now, the Yachtmaster has always been a favorite watch of mine from the Rolex collection because it has such a unique but sophisticated, still sporty look to it. This is going to be a 42 millimeter, and probably one of my favorite things about the Yachtmaster is the bezel. No matter if it was one of the references that had maybe the platinum bezel or the yellow gold bezel, in this case you have the Cerachrome bezel. And the reason I love the bezel on this one is because you'll have that matte finish on the lower level, and then you'll have a high polish on the numbers. And I really can't think of any other models from Rolex that have this matte finish Cerachrome bezel. And so that's going to be of a ceramic base and really scratch resistant. And then that depth is just gorgeous on it. It gives some texture to the watch. This one is done in 18 karat white gold, and those beautiful Mercedes style hands really pop against that black dial. And then they've done it on the Oysterflex bracelet, which everyone loves because it does have a beautiful shape to it that really contours the wrist. And it is very durable because it's not only rubber or elastomer, it actually has a titanium bridge inside of the strap to help with wear and tear and durability. And then you'll have those vents underneath the strap so that you can really let some air in and not get it too sweaty if you're wearing it. Yachtmaster, of course, has to do with yachting, so you could time different races, but the bezel is also functional for your own usage, whether you're, cooking something on the grill or seeing how long it's going to take you to finish your test. It's a very versatile style from Rolex. So I really love this model. And I think that I saw the tennis player Carlos with this one on his wrist as well. And then last, but certainly not least, is the iconic Daytona. And we've seen Roger Federer with this watch in so many different ways, so many different colorways. I've even seen him with one that had the orange sapphires around the bezel, which is super rare. And on this model, I chose it because it is just a versatile colorway. You'll have the black dial, the black Cerachrome bezel, and typically you automatically think of like that more monochromatic look or either the black and white with the Daytona. But I thought that this was very elegant. You get the sport and the elegant when you go black on black like this. And then you'll have the tachymeter around the outer bezel here, which is of course used for timing. But in this case, you could time really anything that you want. And you'll have the sub dials here on the dial with your seconds counter, your minutes, and your hours as well. Really an iconic movement. It's the 4130 inside of this Daytona, which of course we're not supposed to play sports in high level watches like this, but it does have the parachrome hairspring, which is very, very shock resistant. It also is great for magnetism and things of that nature. And it's just a little less components inside of this movement, even though it has some complications. So it keeps the watch very lightweight for a watch like this and very streamlined. You'll see the case is really not that thick. It's a 40 millimeter across. So again, a very versatile size. And then you'll have that oyster steel bracelet. And you'll have, of course, the easy adjustment inside of the clasp as well, if you want to take it down about maybe 5 millimeters without having to use a tool. So really great reference from Rolex and just an iconic watch. How can you have top picks for Rolex without a Daytona? So 3 of my favorites that I've seen some of the US Open winners and champions wear. Let us know down in the comments some of your favorites. Of course, Rolex has had a very long-standing relationship with tennis. And you think about, of course, the Wimbledon, which I thought would be typical for a video like this. So I left it out, but some really great versions of that as well. Let us know down in the comments some of your favorite Rolexes, and we will see you on the next video.